Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today, I'm going to tell you about a fascinating episode in African history that you may not have heard of. It's called the Aba Women's War, and it was the first major challenge to British colonial rule in Nigeria. But before we get into that, please make sure to hit the like button, subscribe to my channel, and turn on the notification bell so you don't miss any of my future videos. Alright, let's get started. The Aba Women's War took place in 1929 in the southeastern region of Nigeria, where the Igbo people lived. The Igbo are one of the largest ethnic groups in Africa, and they have a rich and diverse culture. Traditionally, Igbo women had a lot of power and influence in their society. They were involved in trade, agriculture, politics, and religion. They also had their own organizations and networks that allowed them to communicate and cooperate with each other. However, things changed when the British colonized Nigeria in the late 19th century. The British imposed a system of indirect rule, which meant that they appointed local chiefs to act as their agents and enforce their laws and taxes. These chiefs were called warrant chiefs, and they were mostly men who had no legitimacy or respect from the people. They abused their power and exploited the people, especially the women. They seized property, imposed harsh regulations, arrested anyone who criticized them, and even raped women. The women were not happy with this situation, and they decided to do something about it. They used their traditional method of protesting against men who misbehaved. Sitting on them. This means that they would gather in large numbers outside the house or office of the offending man, and sing songs and dance to mock him and shame him until he apologized or resigned. This was a very effective way of expressing their displeasure and asserting their authority. In November 1929, a woman named Nonyeruwa had a dispute with a man named Mark Emerua, who was working for the warrant chief Okugo. Emerua came to Nonyeruwa's house to count her livestock and household items, which she thought was a preparation for taxing her. She refused to cooperate and asked him, "Was your widowed mother counted?" This was an insult, implying that he had no father or husband to protect him. Emerua slapped her, and she ran to the market to tell other women what happened. The news spread quickly among the women, who saw this as an attack on their rights and dignity. They organized a massive protest against Okugo and other warrant chiefs in the area. They marched to their offices and houses, singing and dancing, demanding that they resign or face their wrath. They also attacked European-owned stores, banks, prisons, and courts, where they freed prisoners and burned documents. The British colonial authorities were shocked by this uprising, and they sent troops and police to quell it. They fired at the crowds of women, killing more than 50 of them and wounding many more. The women fought back with sticks, stones, knives, and guns. The conflict lasted for 2 months, until January 1930, when the British finally agreed to negotiate with the women. As a result of the Aba Women's War, the British colonial authorities dropped their plans to tax the market women, and reduced the power of the warrant chiefs. They also appointed some women to serve on the native courts, where they could represent their interests and grievances. The Women's War was a huge victory for the Igbo women, who showed their courage and solidarity in challenging colonial oppression. It was also a milestone in the history of Nigeria and Africa as a whole, as it inspired other movements for independence and liberation. That's all for today's video. I hope you learned something new and interesting about the Aba Women's War. If you did, please give this video a thumbs up and share it with your friends. And don't forget to leave a comment below telling me what you think about this topic. I would love to hear your opinions and suggestions. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye.